Hey guys, I am sitting in an old abandoned bank parking lot in a tiny East Texas town because that's kind of where I have to go to be able to get some quiet to be able to do these videos since I don't have the office. I want to spend a few minutes talking about your final paper. It's a research based, persuasive slash argumentative essay. You're going to be starting with the literature that we've encountered. That's where you start. Uh, think about that. Think about what are some of the things, and then that's where you get to really take it and express your opinion. We've been writing expository up until now. Expository is fact-based nonfiction. You're just non-persuasive. You're just supposed to be analyzing. That's it. That's the point. This is where you get to add in all of your opinion, but you have to remember your 1301 class. You have to avoid the logical fallacies. There's no hasty generalizations, there's no stereotyping, there's no broad generalizations, and you have to remember your persuasive argumentation of logos, ethos, pathos. You have to have logic included in it. So you have to have an emotional appeal, you have to have an ethical appeal, you have to have your logical appeal particularly. And again, you want to avoid the first person, okay? So we're still not writing first person in 1302, okay? So you want to take your topic, and I put very broad, deep topics out there. So you may be dealing with, the societal oppression of certain peoples. Okay, so that would be a good topic for you to dig into. So you would start with the poetry, and you would talk about God Bless John Wayne, and of course that poem is about the slaughter of indigenous peoples. So you would have to talk about maybe the oppression that came with colonialization, with colonization, with imperialism, and how that continues today in other parts of the world, how there's a certain stigma or racism against colonialized peoples, things like that. You can definitely take that, and then you're going to be a part of a much larger academic debate and talk. This is why, if you notice, the library access is embedded, and you still have access to the PJC databases, and you can use that to help you research your topic and get into that academic debate. Likewise, if you're talking about the philosophical points, if you're going to talk about Camus, then, or even David Foster Wallace and Plato, they're not as deep as Camus, but still. You might be talking about finding your point or your meaning in life. That's more David Foster Wallace and Plato. And you may be talking about what others have said and what you have. Well, you wouldn't be saying I, of course, but you would be saying your argument of where you're coming from. Okay? So you may be arguing for the Christian life, you may be arguing for the moral life, you may be arguing that helping others is the main point of life. Depends on what you're wanting to take there. And then you have to add in, of course, your quotes, your evidences, and you have to engage in that larger academic debate. If you go to Camus, Myth of Sisyphus, and you're dealing with existentialism and you're dealing with absurdism, you might compare it to nihilism. Okay, existentialism and absurdism are the solution to nihilism. Lots of you guys got the two confused. Nihilism is when it says that there is absolutely no point in life, and therefore what's best for man is to die and die quickly, to quote Nietzsche, the founder of nihilism. Camus and Sartre and others are saying, okay, maybe there is no point to life, but there's still reason to live. There's still reason to be happy. There's still ways to engage life and help others, even if there's no intrinsic point in a philosophical sense. So, you've got these two going back and forth, and they're arguing. So that's really kind of what you're dealing with. That's what you're looking at, okay? And of course, you could come at it from a later perspective, and you could include some Deleuze or Derrida and postmodernism and the idea of the subjective reality and all this stuff. Or you could come at it from a Neoplatonic view, and that's that kind of we're here to help people, and we're here to understand this ideal of forms, and the ideal man is a man that's self-sacrificing. And when I'm saying man here, I'm talking the generic he, by the way, of humanity, mankind. Sorry for that. I tried to catch myself when I say that these days, but I didn't there. So that's kind of what you're looking at doing, and then you're going to expand upon it. And I'm going to encourage you to get as deep as you can in terms of critical thinking, because that's what this paper is really all about. It's a critical thinking argument. But again, use your quotes, use your evidence, dig into some people, okay? But at the same time, I understand it's a 1302 concurrent course, so I'm not going to kill you if you're not getting Derrida, okay? I don't get Derrida all the time, so just name dropping a philosopher there. So it's okay. I'm just wanting you to attempt. I want to see your attempt. I want to see you working with it and wrestling with the text and wrestling with your ideas. That's really where the good stuff comes in, okay? That's the main thing I want to see you do. Wrestle with it. Try to cope with it. Do some reading. That's really what it's all about, okay? So I hope everyone had a happy Easter. Stay safe, and I will be back soon.